revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pounds. Somebody gon' want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left. Touchdown. A floor, come down. Hotel, lobby. Receptionist, what now? 11 a.m. Check out. Might give her one foul just to tell her it's one now. How come? I need rest, no recess in my schedule. Right. Mama used to serve vegetables, now half the meals got tentacles. Right. Half the Emirates need a reservation and half my money goes straight to taxes. But I don't trip about it, that's what happens when you got dreams closer than a match. And plus all your boys got expensive habits. Go. I know what they're thinking, they don't even gotta say it. Nope. They thinking they just made it. I know how to make everybody feel famous. I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta answer questions. Right. And I don't need you to okay it. Yeah. Okay. 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay. I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay. All my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay. So when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Just a short time ago, these Philly fans in full roar as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. Pyrotechnics ablaze. They're set to go as their Eagles will match up with the Detroit Lions. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive. Just past the 30-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Ready.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Get this one. 21. Zero. 5.
Now Stafford. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. A gain of 32 that time. Well, how about a deep ball on the first play from scrimmage, putting that secondary on notice?
Brandon, all I remember when I was a player is that we always took a test the night before the game about teams' tendencies.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Prater for the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now a 2-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27th. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing now is Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4.
Watch the run, watch the run. Let's find two, let's find two.
Now Wentz. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Jarrad Davis. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack.
Bravo.
Working from the gun, Wentz. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson. 76 yards. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. That one good for 26 and a 1st down. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed. And
that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing is Wentz. And a reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
It's a gain of 22 yards. That's another Eagles first down. First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
On 1st down, they run with Howard. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the 1st quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Come on, boys. Tyson. Here, Lion.
This is the former Nittany Lion, the rookie Miles Sanders. And he has met... Quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
It's 3rd and 11.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
We're good.
From the gun, it's Wentz. It's caught by Sanders. And they're going to drop him well shy of the first as he can only make it to the 11. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. After one, a 14-3 ball game.
14, Eagles 3.
Double right. Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time. Check 52. Hey, Zoo.
On 1st down, it's Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 1st down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
16 yards. 1st down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Fletcher Cox there for the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. On the toss, here's Johnson. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll try the air now with Stafford. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. In his own end zone, it's Wentz. But that's complete to Sanders. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. Call it a pickup of 7, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Go. 280! 40. 57. Hey, wahoo!
Now Wentz. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Here's Cameron Johnston now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And this will be touchdown inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 18-yard line.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it?
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's be alert. Go.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, ringing the cowbell there on the sack. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Watch that in. Watch that in.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
32.
From the gun, here's Stafford. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. And give him a gain of 37. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Stafford now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Here's McKissick, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down.
Hey, 5-0. Smooth. Check three.
Here's Stafford. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Well, what's the plan of attack here? Very late second quarter, and look where the ball is.
Yeah, bad spot for you. But the defense has all 3 timeouts. So what you're telling your team is ball security #1. It's not all on the running backs if you decide to run the football. That offensive line has got to protect them and wedge out some space because you can't just kneel. They take 3 timeouts. They're going to get the ball back in good field position with a chance to put points on the board. You've got to try and get a first down and run out this first half.
On 2nd down now, it's Howard. That 2nd down run, a big help. The 7 yards leaves them with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Now, that's a decent amount of aggressiveness right there. Inside their own 10-yard line, they still run the toss, even though they know that that can be a little bit of a dangerous play, and it pays off pretty well with a nice run.
180. So, rip 5-2 on here. 551.
Wentz going to try and throw on third. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Lions will take over.
First and 10 at their own 45-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Pretty good starting field position, all things considered. You'd think they definitely have time to get in the field goal range.
Yes, and you get into the huddle or you come off the bench here and you've called multiple plays because you're going to say, this is how we're going to run them in order, guys. You don't have time for audibles. You don't have time to change anything. You're trying to get the ball in position to at least get 3. They've got a great shot to do it right here.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Johnson, and an alley to run. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson as the first half is winding down. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Looking to throw on second down. Wentz, and that is incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Just work with me a second here, because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football, I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, it feels like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets. Now Wentz on 3rd down. He's going to let this go. He's got him in. Complete. 20, 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Deshaun Jackson, 78 yards, as his guys are back within a single score. Now Wentz, and he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And with it, they're back within a field goal. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 31-yard line.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Jim.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. He takes us from the 30 to the 34.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready. 180. All day. Rerun. Kill. Shoot. Bang. Shoot.
This is Bawden. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Our eyes and attention are on the fullback. Big time carry, big yardage. But how about the guys up front, the offensive line? A lot of people think they may have to block it differently for the fullback to get big yardage. They really don't. Because he's big, strong, and powerful, a lot of times he makes his own way. They may not have to block as hard.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? In this case, they managed to get it done.
Switch gears.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he's going to take this close to the 1st down markers. He stopped at the Eagles' 31.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Back. You go tight. You got tight right there. Whip.
On 3rd down, Johnson. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
That's that. Lady. Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Pick it up.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
40 got.
They go to Johnson again. Johnson with a burst, a 1st down or more. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. From 17 yards out. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
19 yards there on the catch and run.
Here we go.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you?
Exit. 51.
Throwing on first is Wentz. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
NFL quarterbacks work so hard on their mechanics, and they do so much repetition and practice, off-season, the whole deal. They expect it to be autopilot once the games start. That way it eliminates any type of pressure of the game, pressure of people in your face, all of that. That didn't shine through on that throw, though, did it?
No. A little bit of a dangerous pass and off target, too. Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. Looking deep for his tight end, Ertz. It's caught inside the 25. 36 yards on the play. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here we go, Pac-Man. Hey, let's get some penetration here. Let's get some flash. Check 99. Check 99. Kill. Check. Recon, 132 fighter. Check 20. No. Check 50. Check.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
180. Go. Man 5-7. Hey, Foxtrot.
Shotgun now for Wentz. Aguilar has it. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 14 yards there and an Eagle 1st down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Lefty.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Sanders. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Here we go. 120. Here, shift. Come on now. Let's go.
Running with Howard. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Wentz. Dancing to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, then no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Stafford, he's going to float this one deep right. Oh, wide open, complete. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Extra point good by Prater. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey. Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
At the 17-yard line.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Solid.
Trying the right side with Howard. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
The Eagles on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 14.
Let's go.
Wentz now to throw. And Jeffrey's got it. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. The end result, 21 yards. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time, but it's going to be 2nd down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. To throw, it's Wentz. It's caught by Jackson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there and an Eagle 1st down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, they had a gain of 10 last time, now a gain of 20 here. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. He finds Ajayi. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jay Ajayi, his 1st touchdown of the new season, as his guys are back within a single score. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. This will be taken in at the 1.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here.
Here we go, 50-50. Mike 50.
Stafford. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this will pin him back deep. That's going to kick out of bounds right at about the 7-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position. Not in a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
The loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
46 down, man, 5-4. There we go.
Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashaan Melvin. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.